the channel for lifestyle, travel, and personal success. In this video, we are going to focus on that personal success piece. I'm going to give you 5 ways to be able to survive final season. As many of you know, I am currently working on my Doctorate of Education. And while I am also a full-time student, I'm also an instructor at the university for students with intellectual disabilities for a transitional program. And so within that, I find myself having to really establish good habits, scheduling, boundaries. And so today I'm going to share with you the 5 top things that I utilize to help me with my final seasons, just from working on my undergrad, my 2 master's programs, and now my doctoral program. So if this is your first time here, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below to let me know that you like this content, as well as give me a thumbs up and a like to be able to help my page out. And we're gonna go on and get this going. All right, so number 1 is to start your planning on your papers and your study guides early. So my rule of thumb is you want to start at least a few weeks prior, but I also know the realisticness of being a student and how oftentimes we don't start until close to the last minute. So if you can, get to that 1 week mark to start working on those study guides, preferably 2 weeks at the minimum, as well as for your papers. So during this time, you want to make sure that you're writing out your outline, you're finding your sources for what you need, and you have that topic and you have your thesis to start working off of. Because the purpose for during final season when it comes to this is you do not want to cram. When you cram, it makes it harder for you to be able to regurgitate that information for your final. Number 2, you need to be a guru with scheduling and planning. So I am a big fan of the Happy Planner. This is my planner. I absolutely love it. It says you are made of stardust and wishes and magical things. That totally feels like me and my personality, okay? And so in this planner, I have like my little tabs that I can use and go to, you know, whatever it is. So if we're going to now like my December, I write in what I have coming up, have my notes where I can write in what's going on that week, as well as how I want to plan out my day for that. So this was my November, my main page. And so this should be your student Bible, okay? Your planner. Make sure that you're planning out what you need to do, because it helps you stay in tune with everything, whether if it's a group project that you're working on or papers, meetings, events, everything. Number 3, and this is a hard one for a lot of us, definitely if we have such a busy schedule, but please make sure you're getting at least 6 hours of sleep at night, okay? And the reason for this is when you're sleeping, that's when your brain is really able to get into that REM sleep to be able to focus. Because if you're going to sleep and you're not giving your body enough time to actually get into the deep sleep, that's when you can find yourself waking up still tired. You can be very fatigued. It can mess with your body, and it can also mess with your health. So if you're already stressed out from trying to get finals complete, as well as your work and from the semester and from your job, from your family, relationships, the last thing you need is extra stress because you haven't got any sleep in. Number 4, I know a lot of people are not early birds, but research shows that our brain function and activity in the morning time is actually at its most optimum. And so it is actually suggested to get most of your study time in the morning time when you get up. So for example, I've realized my most productive hours are usually between the hours of 3 a.m. to about 8 a.m.-ish. It depends on, you know, what's going on. It may be a little bit later and I may be able to get to noon, but during those hours is where my brain is functioning at its most optimum, and I'm able to get a lot of work done during that time. So if you could set your schedule to be at a place where you go to bed earlier and wake up earlier, and see how you're able to function, or your productivity, what that looks like during that time, I strongly suggest. Number 5, take breaks. yes, take breaks. I strongly suggest that you do not study for more than 1 hour on each subject consecutively. So if you start working on one class and you're working on it for 1 hour, after that hour, take that time to then switch to your next topic now, okay? And by doing that, it helps keep your brain fresh. You're switching topics, you're going to something new and something different, and then you're going to then come back and switch. You keep switching back and forth to keep your brain continuously processing. And it's the same thing of what we do on tests. When you're taking a test, if you find yourself concentrating on one question too long, you then are now wasting time instead of, let's go through this test and answer everything that we already know. And then you go back to the questions that you gotta kind of sit and think on a little bit more, okay? That was a method that I utilized for my GRE, and definitely on the math portion, in which I scored pretty good with a 152, and I didn't even finish the test. And so what I did was I answered questions that I knew first, and then I went and focused on the questions that I didn't quite understand, so that, you know, I wasn't giving up on myself or allowing myself to have some self-defeat because I wasn't understanding what was going on. And that's the same thing when you're planning and working on your finals and studying and writing all these different papers. So if you feel you got something from this video here today, just make sure you hit that subscribe button to support my channel as I keep working and growing my content. Leave some suggestions down below if it's something that you would like to hear when it comes to being a student. I plan on eventually sharing just that process of going back to school, you know, and switching careers into something different while you're in your professional life. And so thank you for chilling out with me. Best wishes to all of my students who are getting ready to tear up these finals. Y'all got it. Live out loud, because guess what? As soon as that last final is done, boo-boo, you're gonna wanna jump out, run out, and scream all the praises, okay? So let's just get through it. Let's get to our finals, and let's just be successful with them. Best wishes.